Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the final video for Joey Speaks About. I decided I was going to make this video just as a goodbye to Joey Speaks About. As you'll learn from the video, I'm going to be focusing fully on obsessive compulsive gaming, shock horror theatre going forward. So there'll be no more videos on this channel, so I thought I would do one final video which kind of reiterates a lot of the stuff I've said in videos on this channel. If you want the fuller picture for everything that's going on, everything I'm feeling, everything, my mindset, etc., all the videos are going to stay here. They will always be there. This video will remain on the channel. I just started taking notes. I didn't plan to make this video. I just was sitting, feeling very down. I couldn't summon up the strength to game, which is very rare for me. I couldn't summon the strength to do anything. So I started taking notes, and before I knew it, I had written ramblings, rants, I'd written all sorts, and I'm going to recite it now. And this isn't going to be a nice video, as probably 99% of the videos on this channel are. This will be the last time you'll hear this voice. I'm not going to allow anyone to hear this voice again. Do with that as you will. Obviously, obsessive compulsive gaming is not my channel. I don't want it to be my channel. I have no intention of speaking in this voice as myself. Like I say, we're putting Joey to bed today, and we're moving on. So let's get on with it. Otherwise, this video is going to be 3 hours long. I didn't really know what it was to be truly unhappy until, well, I guess I've always been unhappy to some degree. I don't think I've ever had true happiness, though. I have had someone that I loved and adored, maybe even worshipped. But nothing else in my life at that time was good. So I can't even say I was 100% happy even then. It's this kind of mentality that I have where I have to have it all or I've got nothing. And of course, for those of you who know me, know that I haven't had a love in my life since then. So, day by day, minute by minute, I have felt myself getting a lot worse. Particularly in the fact that I've never had a healthy relationship with stuff like alcohol. I would do it now every single day if I could. Every single day. Because, and this is going to sound morbid, but I have this compulsion to be sick constantly, like really sick, the kind that you may only get from essentially giving yourself alcohol poisoning. I have that desire all the time now, day in, day out, and not just to be sick, but to be physically in pain constantly, because it's kind of the body wanting to be what the head is. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like I say, I've written a lot of ramblings when I was taking these notes, so a lot of stuff I say might not make any sense when I say it out loud. So you'll just have to bear with me and kind of guess what I'm getting at. But yes, I want to be sick all the time. I want to feel in pain. And drinking alcohol a lot will inevitably cause that, and it has caused that. Or maybe it's me trying to somehow snap myself out of it. If I think if I'm in pain, I'm somehow going to go and react to it and suddenly snap out of the stupor that I have found myself in for the last few years. That's not true, because I've certainly felt a lot of pain over the last 2 or 3 years, and if anything, I haven't snapped out of anything. If anything, things have been gradually getting worse, and I've started to really feel recently that the clock is ticking. Time is running out. And not only time, but my patience is running out. I need to be happy. And like I say, I'm not getting any younger. I've been out of school now for 22 years. 22 years. And I haven't accomplished even 3% of what I said I would accomplish by the time, not by 39, which I am now, unfortunately. By the time I was 30, I have not accomplished 3% of what I said I wanted to by the time I was 30. That's right. So you may be there thinking, oh, things aren't that bad. You've done this, you've done that, you've done... That's not even 3%. And don't ask how I arrived at that. I wrote a list of everything I wanted to achieve by the time I was 30. Everything had a value, and then times it, and division, blah, 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 by the amount of years, Anyway, 3%. Less than 3%. Is what I have accomplished. In fact, that statistic would be even worse, because it was by the time I was 30. I'm now 39. 30 fucking 9. So, I am a complete and utter failure. I'm hurting. I want it to stop. I need it to hurry up. Hurry up and fucking stop. Not later. Not tomorrow. Right now. You see, I hate everything. Some days I will say I hate everyone. I'm exaggerating, of course, but other people's happiness irritates me. No, it's worse than that. I would say it infuriates me sometimes. I have always had this jealous streak. So I would say, and I will admit it, I am a very, very jealous person. Always have been. I always will be. Until the day that I am the one making people jealous. When I have a great house, when I have a glorious career, when I have money, when I'm able to travel, and my fear of travelling is gone because I've got so many opportunities that it outweighs the fear of travelling, and I've got the money to do it. I'll be able to go to Disneyland and go to Florida and spend thousands of pounds on a holiday, and that's what I want. To make other people jealous. The way that I am. The way that when someone tells me, oh, we're going to Paris, or we're going to see this show, or we're going here for a week, or we're going here for 2 weeks, and I feel jealous, I want people to feel that way about me. Now, of course, this is not a normal thing. I don't think it's a normal thing. I think it's a particularly sad thing to feel like that. To feel that you have to make other people want what you have, and that's going to give you some kind of satisfaction. But it's true. Because all I feel when people tell me the great things that they're able to do is this deep-seated resentment that I don't have the opportunity, and I'm not in the position to do that. So we have jealousy, we have overwhelming anxiety, we've got depression, of course, body dysmorphia, suicidal ideations, day in, day out. I mean, there's so much now that it's almost impossible to know where to begin. And that's why I simply just started taking notes. And like I say, I may only touch on certain things. For more context, you can go watch the rest of the videos on the channel. You might as well, because there's not going to be any new content on this channel. I'm going to basically get this off my chest, and then that will be it. I'll be saying it no more. Because frankly, you're probably sick of hearing about it, and I'm sick of talking about it. I'm essentially, and have been essentially, waiting for a miracle to happen. I have been waiting for 22 years, maybe even longer, 22 years, maybe even longer. I also I always had this little problem, but I seem to have, in the last 3 years, really taken offence to my identity. That probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but it goes back to why I said, you will never hear me talking again. Joey, I despise my accent. A lot of you will know I'm an actor, that's what I do. I would never, ever act in my natural accent. Even if someone came to me and said, I will give you £100,000 to play this part, but you have to do it with your Glasgow accent or Scott, I wouldn't do it. And that sounds insane, but I wouldn't, because I don't want, when I'm acting, I want no fucking semblance of who I really am to come through. Yes, personality traits, that's fine. But the accent is, I hate it. And it got worse recently because I blacked out the other evening, as I always do when I drink. And I didn't realise I did this, but because my phone is always to hand, I will often get this really horrible thing happen when I wake up. And it's that I film myself. And I have no idea that I've done it. And I'll find these videos, and when I talk, I sound like someone. And I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. Listening to me being drunk with this accent is one of the most nauseating, infuriating, sickening things I have ever heard. Which is why when people say for my gaming channel, oh, you should just be yourself, I can't think of anything possibly worse than this accent doing my videos that get done on the gaming channel. I would rather close the channel down, because I've tried it many times. I've done reviews in this accent and I go to edit it, and I'm not kidding, listening to it back and not hearing, like, for anyone who doesn't know, I play a character called OCG on the channel, but not hearing his voice, listening to my own voice, even talking about video games, something I absolutely adore, is the most awful thing I can sit and listen to. And it's so bad now, I cannot edit. I will not be editing this video probably, because I don't want to listen back to my fucking voice, because I hate it so much. Now, we could sit and theorise about why that is. I hate absolutely everything to do with my... The only way I can put it is my own identity. I cannot stand it. I can't stand my accent. I can't stand the country I was born in. I can't stand... You know, there's been points in the past, this may be the first time I've ever said this, where I've debated that even my gender, my sexuality, I cannot stand it. Can't stand it sometimes. And that's all to do with my identity. Which is why I am more comfortable playing other people. Playing the over-the-top English people. I hate it all. I also have a... For any Scottish people watching this is not meant to offend, so do not take this offensively. This is just how I personally feel. I can't stand it when people call me Scottish. In very much the same way that there's this kind of thing where Scottish people don't like being called British. I'm the opposite. I would prefer, and in fact, I will correct people if they... not that it ever comes up, but the accent obviously is what betrays me. That's why I'm not doing this accent anymore. And I even was, when I was sitting down and I was going to do this video, I was actually going to put on an accent that's not my own, to show that I'm fucking serious about this. And if I could get away with it, if I knew that people close to me wouldn't fucking laugh at me and go, why are you fucking talking with an accent, I would do it. And it will get to the point, and I'm even debating it, where I will not talk, because I have to listen to this voice come out, and I cannot fucking stand it. And that's a big psychological minefield. But basically, to make it simple, I hate my identity. I hate where I was born. I hate where I live. I hate this accent. I hate everything about it. I despise it, in fact. Despise it. But like I say, this is all to do with me. It's not meant to offend other people. You're happy with your identity. You're happy being Scottish. You're happy with this. You're happy with that. You're happy you were born a boy, but you feel like a girl. Or you're happy you were born a boy. You're glad to be a boy. That's getting into a whole other issue that I don't really need to talk about, because I've already hinted at it. I'm not happy with my identity. I never have been. That's all I have to say about it. But it goes even deeper than that. It's not just my accent, it's almost everything about me. It's my looks, my hideous mouth, just everything. I want to be someone else. And when I say I want to be someone, I don't mean I get to do that when I act, because I play other characters. I mean just a day-to-day life. If I would love to just invent a persona and just be in it all the time. I'm not even kidding when I say that. Because I have so many problems. And I'm starting to think too many. How am I going to overcome it? Therapy? Well, I'm trying that. Will it work? No. I don't think it will. I've already started the process. Therapy. It's kind of what got me the other night to write this crap down. as some kind of therapy, you know. Do I feel better that I've written this down and that I'm saying it out loud? No. I mean, I do enjoy ranting. But it's all I do now. Rant. And what's worse, and this is me talking out loud, this is not for people to go into the comment section and be like, no, we do, or whatever. No one cares. That's what's worse for me. Or they don't care enough for what I need. I think that's what it is. It's a me problem. People out there do not care in the way that I want them to care. That's a big problem. It's no one says the right thing. No one does the right thing. And for the 20 plus years that I've struggled with this is the hardest thing about it. I know what I want specific people to say and to do. The issue is I can't tell them what they should say, what they should do. Because if you tell someone, it doesn't count if they then do it. I have always thought like that. So yes, there are things I've been wanting people to do for 10, 15, 20 years. This is not a joke. And they haven't done it. But every time they don't, I have it in the back of my head. The resentment. I want to tell them, no, fucking say this or fucking do this. Because that's what will make me feel better. But it doesn't count if I do that. It doesn't count, and I'm not going to do it even from today. If people don't feel a certain way to do a certain thing, then it doesn't count. Now, of course, it could mean people don't want to do it, and that's fine, okay, fine. I'll just be resentful and unforgiving and have that jealousy and have that, you know, that's just the way it is. So yes, I have all the answers, but I can't tell people. Like I say, it's very much a me problem. It's me wanting a specific reaction. I don't get it, so I then feel pissed off with the person that they're not giving me what I want, reaction-wise, or whatever it is. So that's a me problem. I know that. But like I say, I have many. I think I need adoration. I need success. I need everything. I already hinted at that. That, for me, is how things get better. There's a deadline I came up with, and this is not a deadline I came up with recently. This is This is talking about me holding on to things for such a long time. There's a deadline I came up with in 2002. Yeah. 23 years ago. The same time I need to accomplish this by the time I'm 30, I wrote a letter. And in this letter it basically says, by this date, in this year, I must have achieved X, Y, and Z. If I don't achieve it, then this is what's going to happen. 23 years ago. So everything I have done since 2002, every single thing I have done has been based on that letter that I wrote. And I still have it. And I look at it all the time. And I've done it over the years. So when things have gone wrong and have not lined up with this plan that I made 23 years ago, that's what really started me on the road of depression, anxiety. Because I know that the clock has been ticking. And it wasn't, I'm not going to say what the deadline is, what the date was, but I've had it in the back of my head for 23 years. So for every time someone has said, you're delusional, that's never going to happen, I have had it in the back of my head. Shit. It has to happen, because it needs to happen by this date. In this year. Or, and then whatever it was I wrote in the letter. We're not here to discuss that. Well, we're not here to say what I exactly wrote. So yes, 23 years ago, I wrote a letter, I wrote a date, and I wrote a year. And I wrote everything I had to have by then. And this wasn't a I would like to have, this was a have to have. This is what needs to have happened by then. So it puts things into context when I think about, well, no wonder you're so hard on yourself and you've been so pissed off all these years, and when your birthday rolls around, it's because you know that every single time I've known, every single time I hit a new year, or a new birthday, or a new Valentine's Day, or a new fucking whatever, I'm getting closer to that deadline. So when I looked at this letter recently, I realised, oh shit, I can't make the deadline that date, because I'm doing a show on that date. So I've actually, the only time I've done this, I've moved the date a couple of days. Now I'm not going to say the date. I'm not going to say the year, and I'm not going to say the date. But I have moved it by a couple of days. And it is a deadline I'm sticking to, might I add, by the way. This isn't a maybe. I wrote the thing 23 years ago, so it would be very, very, very foolish to not fucking stick to it. That would make my entire life pointless. Well, most of my life. 23 years is a fucking long time. So I'm not moving the date again. It's also something I seem to have, which is a kind of big problem. I have a lot of emotional triggers. And by that, what I mean is I can't watch a movie or a show or play certain video games without feeling a kind of deep resentment, longing. It's really hard to explain, but it seems to be with certain subject matter, you know, characters, particular character traits. It sets me off, and I've always been like that. And in fact, it's stopped me seeing a lot of live shows and a lot of movies, because often what will happen is I'll sit there and I'll get very, very, very sad, because I'll think, why can't one of my shows be in this theatre? Or why can't I have a movie in this cinema? And I can't go alone to the theatre now. I was going to the cinema on my own for a while, and I now can't do that. Because it's just too fucking hard, and no one, and I don't blame them, by the way, no one invites me anymore. To be honest, I wouldn't invite me either. I'm the worst kind of company. Because when I'm not ranting, or starting arguments, or drinking, then I'm just gripped with an overwhelming anxiety. Something that's like, well, claustrophobia, I suppose would be the easiest way to describe it. Like, sometimes it's, I can't breathe. That's what it feels like. It feels like I'm having a major panic attack and I just cannot breathe. Something like that happened recently. And we'll talk about that in a bit. And because of whatever circumstance, I don't have any friends anymore. Not, when I say friends, do not be offended if you're someone who talks to me online. When I say friends, I mean people I see in real life. Here, now. Family? Well, 90% of my family I don't like. For various reasons, which I don't need to go into in this video. I may have mentioned it in other videos. It's very offensive to them, my reasonings behind it. It's very selfish. It's very self-obsessed. So I don't need to go into it. But other than saying, I don't see them. But I don't want to see them. That's kind of the other side of that coin. It's not that I'm sad that I don't see them. It's that I don't see them and I'm glad. 90% of them. Maybe 95%. And when I'm at gatherings, like social gatherings, I feel like a ticking time bomb. I know that's a weird, like, comparison to make, but I do. The social gathering feels like a ticking time bomb. Well, I feel like the bomb. You know, I'm sensitive, I'm fragile, ready to explode at any moment. And because I've made such a strong analogy, we'll go back to the deadline very briefly. Now, I firmly believe this now. By the time this deadline that I wrote in this letter happens, I will only be one of three things. Not one of four, one of three things. Those three things are, I will either be happy, I will be committed, or I'll be dead. I mean it. I'm not using hyperbole, however the fuck you say that. I'm not exaggerating. It will be one of those three things. Happy, committed, dead. 2 out of 3 of those things are very bad. So really, all we're going for is happy. That's it. I'm still not putting the deadline in the video because it's irrelevant. Because no one's gonna because the thing is, no one can say anything that will make me, oh, what happened when you're 45, or what happened when you're 50, or this will happen and that. No, it makes no difference to me. So that's why I'm not saying what it is. It is what it is. I put it back by a couple of days because I'm doing a show, and we'll deal with it when we get to it. But yes, it'll be one of those three things. And because obviously I wrote this in a very, you might think, oh, that's the end of the video, we're done. No, we're not done. I wrote things in a very, it might seem like that was going to be the ending of the video. I'll be one of three things. This, or this. Goodbye. But I was serious when I said this is the last video I will make for this channel. With me doing it. That doesn't mean someone else will come in and make videos on this channel. This will be the last video on this channel. Because I'll have said everything I need to say by the end of this video. And that'll be it. So yes. And of course, you'll know. All my social media addresses are all there. If anyone needs to reach out to me, they can reach out to me. So, certain words I seem to have written down here. Discouraged. And all those close to me. And of course they'll deny it. Say I'm not that bad. But I know full well, that if I was more stable, I would get invited to more shows, to movie nights, to social gatherings, whatever. That would happen. I know for a fact I put off certain people from inviting me to certain things because of either, oh, he hasn't got any money, because he's poor and unfulfilled, or I can't trust him to not drink, or, you know, I know that for a fact without anyone ever having told me that. I know that. Because over the years, I've probably said it a million times, but I've started to slowly lose everything. Many years ago, it was losing job after job, which, to be frank, I was quite happy with, because I never, ever wanted to have conventional employment. Just never. I'd rather be dead. And I still stand by that now. Of course, I've lost friends. I've lost the love of my life. Lost other people who I had relationships with. I've lost my fucking teeth. I've lost a lot. So much. And I mentioned that recently I ran out of a social gathering. And this is probably the kind of culmination of everything. This is kind of what really told me, this is it. You're on the final stretch. You know, this is all your problems are starting to mount up now. I ran out from a family gathering. And the reason was simply, well, I've kind of already hinted at it. Being overwhelmed. Frustration. Someone will say one thing like, I think I was complaining about this area I live in. And someone was making very justifiable, you know, but they probably don't like you either. And that's probably true, but the more people will criticise me, and criticise my way of thinking and how I feel, the worse it makes me feel. It's almost like I'm being told, you know, the way you feel about a certain person or a certain situation or a certain area you live in, you got no right to think like that. You're deluded. You're this, you're that. That comes up with things. It's kind of a word that's been thrown around a lot when I talk about my shows. You know, it would have happened by now. You're deluded. Da, 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 da. Again, that goes back to the whole people don't do or say what I need them to do. And I'm not going to tell them what to do or say because it doesn't count. So yes, I became very overwhelmed. Jealousy kind of seeps in a little bit because of certain people who are close to me, the way they behave around, let's just say, the newest addition to our family, as opposed to the way they are around me, for some reason really angers me, and it really upsets me. And all of that just builds and builds and builds, and I ran out. And that's what social situations make me feel like. Overwhelmed. And then I get to a point where I want to just run away. And believe it, this is 100% true. When I ran out of there, I turned my phone off because I fully thought that was the day that I was going to give up. It felt like that when I ran out. Because the very first thing I did was turn my phone off. Because I didn't want anyone phoning me and stopping me from doing what I really wanted to do. And it took me a long time, because it was a long walk, knowing I was walking from there home. And that gave me plenty of time to think, oh, I could go and jump off here, or I could go do this, or I could go do, you know. The point is, I didn't, because I'm still here. But I thought about it. And I think about it a lot. I think about it every single day. That's why I say I have ideations, because I do. I think about it constantly. And that's what happens. That's what just going to a simple social event will make me feel that way. That's crazy. Or am I crazy? I don't. A lot of people don't like the word crazy, but I'm using it to describe myself, and I could call myself whatever the fuck I want. So, I do often feel crazy. Obviously, a lot of people might say, well, do you take medication for your Yes. Yes, I do take medication. It's doubled, in fact, in the last couple of years. And I am in no doubt it will double again. Or it will change. Or it will triple. Because it obviously doesn't work. But again, it would be very difficult for me to tell if it's working or not. Because if I didn't take it, and I have seen days when I haven't taken it and I have this manic attack where I basically just want to boil the kettle and pour it over my hands. And that's actually true. I've had many days like that, or days where I will punch myself in the face for no reason to snap my brain out of thinking a certain way or whatever. These things happen. So my medication probably is actually working. So I dread to imagine what would happen if I didn't take it. It's kind of my thinking behind it. But I'm in no doubt that I will have to get put on something else. No doubt. It'll probably get to a point where I'll have to be so, I don't know, antipsychotics probably. I'm in no doubt about it. And that's scary because I can't imagine feeling worse than I already do now. And at least I'm still here. I always say that. At least I am still here. I still have the same determination to keep going. At least for a little while anyway. Now the law of attraction, if we've heard of the law of attraction, basically dictates that if you're positive, then good things will happen for you. If you're negative, then obviously good things will not happen for you. Unfortunately, I would say I'm both. One moment, I'm completely full of confidence. I'm saying, fuck what everyone thinks. I'm going to do this show. I'm going to do this. It's going to make lots of money. Then the next second, I'll be dreading it because I'll think, what if it doesn't make lots of money? What if it makes no money? What if people don't turn up? And then, lo and behold, what usually happens? Doesn't make money, people don't turn up. I feel very bad, want to kill myself, blah blah blah. Drink more, take more medication, da da da. Vicious cycle. Then I'll get the determination and the confidence back and we'll have another go at it. But even I know, approaching 40, that it can't keep going like that. And I know it won't keep going like that. Deadline, remember? Because I'm tired. And it's exhausting. It's really hard to describe it, but it is exhausting being me day after day. Some days I will wake up and I will just sit and stare into space because I can't summon the strength to do anything. And you have no idea what it's like when it's like, I need to go to the shop, but I'm terrified to walk round the corner. I won't even walk for a minute and a half to get something. Sometimes that's just how bad I feel. And I know it can't continue like that. And clearly I knew that 23 years ago, which is why I wrote down a date, I wrote down a year, and I wrote down everything that had to happen by then. So I will keep going. I'll keep doing my shows, I'll keep working on my gaming channel, I'll keep searching for that love that I've been denied on these fucking dating apps. Obviously I haven't really gone into that in detail. I don't need to. I'm on dating apps. People don't want me. It's as simple as that. For all the reasons I probably mentioned. Hideous, fucking lack of this, lack of that, lack of money obviously, lack of prospects, lack of career. Women don't want that. Men don't want that. Whoever doesn't want that. I can't look after anyone. And they clearly sense it, which is why I'm still sitting here completely fucking alone and unhappy. Rejection. That's the word I would use to describe my life. Failure after failure. Constant rejection. In everything. Rejected by people I've loved, those I thought were friends, by colleagues, by romantic interests, by the audience, by my family, by fans, by theatre organisations. Rejected. That's the word. Because I'm not good enough. Or am I? I mean, I'm proud of my talents. I think I'm fucking great at what I do. But then that word will creep back in. You're deluded. Or some variation of that. You can't do this. It would have happened by now. All that bullshit. But that's the thing. That will not change my mind. Because I made the decision 20 odd years ago. And I haven't swayed from it since. 20 odd years ago I said I will not work in a fucking normal job, and I've never been able to do it. Since then, I will last a week and then quit. Go on the sick and fucking quit, because I would rather die than go in day after day, 9 till 5, grind for this, grind for this. That's just not me, because I always felt I was destined for better. And here we are, I'm nearly 40 and I've still not fucking done it. Rejected. I like that word. And I've used social media, promote my shows, promote videos. But it's always, I'm in no delusion. I set up social media to get people to feel sorry for me. To have people reach out to me and say, oh, that's great you're doing that, I'm going to come along. Because I really thought that having a fucking Facebook or a MySpace or whatever, people would be like, I'm going to go to that chat show because he knows what he's doing something exciting. He's not working in a fucking call centre or fucking McDonald's or whatever. No offence to anyone who does those things. I'm just talking from my own, what I deem to be worthwhile and not worthwhile. So like I say, social media was supposed to bring I really thought that was the answer, bringing all that in. Advertise a video, people would go watch it, I'll get monetized on my gaming channel, on my theatre channel, on this channel, and lo and behold, none of that has happened yet. So, like I said, this is the very last video I will ever make on this channel, because everything, you will have heard a lot of what I've said today already. If you want to hear more in context, there's the other videos on the channel, you can go watch them and you'll hear it. But I'm still of the opinion that no one cares. Not in the way I need them to. So please, my final request and my final video on this channel. If you have the links will be there. Go follow OCG, Specific Puzzle Gaming, Shock Horror Theatre. If you're in the area, please come and see the shows that are being done this year. Look at all my socials and you'll see. I post about them all the time. Because this video's gone on long enough, I think. So if you need to know any more, rewatch this video, take notes, watch the other videos on the channel. Maybe you'll chuckle at one or two of them. Because they're not all miserable and unhappy, but they mostly are. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Pray for me if that's your thing. And maybe I'll do the same. Bye everyone.